Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 gameplay cast with me, Thendis32. I apologize if I have not done as many casts lately as I usually do. I've been very busy. That is very loud. But yes, I'm going to try to get back onto a more stable structure. For those of you that did not watch anything Warcraft-like or was living under a cave, a lot of great news happened this weekend. To start things off with, I co-casted the Rust Brain Cup and the Garrett Cup with Back to Warcraft. That was really nice. The European Pro League got a new boy into their arsenal. That is, of course, the one, the only, the Cechi. And I will be doing more FFA casts, but in like a couple days or so, the new FFA Ladder League starts. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more FFA along with that. So, yeah, sorry for all my FFA viewers. I should have another one up sometime tomorrow. Let's introduce these players spawning as the Teal Undead. It is Cechi. And his opponent, spawning as the Red Human, we have Hawk. Human versus Undead on Last Refuge. Sorry if you already watched this game or watched it live. It's just, I love this matchup. I'm a big fan of Cechi. So, sorry if you've seen it. I really want to cast it. I really wanted to be on my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, and more great news from this weekend is Blizzard basically confirmed the new Warcraft 3 patch. Now, what you can expect in this patch is a lot of stuff to make the game more compatible with newer systems and such. Maybe some tweaks here and there on the Warcraft, like getting rid of some bugs. But they did mention that there would be some small balance changes. So a lot of players like me are very excited to see what those balance might be. To see what those changes might be. But right now, we do have Warcraft 3 freezing.
A player's forces are under attack.
Woo, that lag. Woo. Woo. Woo, not sure what that's all about. Yikes. Alright, sorry if this is laggy. Hopefully it'll stop. We do see the Archmage first out of Hawk, and it looks like he is Militia creeping his green spot. Meanwhile, at a Cechi, we do have a Footman Scout being nice and annoying, just getting some info in. And we do see the standard Death Knight as the first hero choice of Cechi, and it looks like he did the Ted Fiend build, which allows you to get the earlier Death Knight, allows you to get the quicker tech. The only flaw with it is you don't get that many Fiends early on. Now, right now, Last Refuge is a pretty easy map for the Human to expand. It's protected by the Ogre Magi, the gold mine spot, so chances are Hawk will go for the quick expo, as that's the meta right now in Human versus Undead. Alright, Skeleton gonna go in. Cechi tried to pull the creeps back on Hawk, was not successful with it. And there's the Militia Steam Train going on in. Looks like they're going to clear out the expansion.
A player's forces are under attack.
Which means Hawk's tech will be pretty delayed. So if Cechi could get a really fast tech out, he could get a lot of destroyers out before Hawk gets a good anti-air army here. Which is why human players often get quite a bit of towers versus Undead when they expand, just to deal with those destroyers. And of course the Fiends, when they get massed up and numbered, they can be pretty deadly. Now, Cechi actually went for an early backpack here, which makes me think he's going to be sieging Hawk's base for quite some time here. Right now, Hawk did get level 2 in his Archmage. Will Cechi coil steal the Ogre Magi? He does get it! Gets 92 experience. The last time I'll do this, my whole setup's just been so off. So yeah, very nice steal from Cechi. Hawk did get the, I don't know, Gloves of Haste, long range coil, gonna get a Footman here. And nice experience on the Death Knight for Cechi to start off with, especially since he hasn't crept any spots yet. Now right now he is taking a tier 2. We do see the double zig. He was supply capped. In order to get that faster tech out, he had to skip on a ziggurat. Meanwhile for Hawk, so far really all he has for his defense are his Footmen, his Water Elementals, and Arcane Towers. Should he want to build guard towers, he'll need to start a lumber mill, which does cost about 120 gold. now. Looks like
player's
Hawk gonna
forces are
continue
under
the pressure. Gonna do some footman run-bys. That's a lot of times what human players will do is when they expand, they'll keep the pressure on their opponent. Because if their opponent's too busy defending their base, they won't be able to harass their expansion, allowing them to not need as many towers and to get more resources. Now, Cechi does have an Arubian tower to defend that does slow up a lot of these footmen. And he's going to chase down one of these slower footmen, will get him down. Death Knight desperately needs level 2 for those coils. Alright, now the Fiend's going to chase down more of the footmen, more water elementals coming in from the Archmage. Alright, Footman gonna try to save himself up on top. Maybe tick off the creeps to kill him and deny experience to Cechi's Death Knight. Or not. Alright, Footman will go down. This actually does get level 2 in the Death Knight, so big mistake there by Hawk. Now Cechi has the Unholy Aura. That means increased attack speed and movement speed and health regen. Okay, not increased attack speed. That's Endurance Aura. Alright, meanwhile, Cechi now hitting tier 2. We do see the Slaughterhouse coming in, and the Lich is the second hero choice. Meanwhile, for Hawk, he still has not teched. Fast expansions really delay that. He's pulling more militia to send his expo, and starting a lumber mill, of course, so he can build those guard towers. So you really can't survive just off arcane towers. A lot of human players wish they could, but you can't. Cechi even sending in some skeletal scouts, just making sure nothing weird's going on here. And he probably should get a level 3 in his Death Knight before he goes in for any more attacks. You'll definitely want those level 2 coils, especially since I do believe Hawk has defend at this point, which means they can just encroach onto those footmen and do onto those fiends and do a lot of damage and take a lot more fiend shots with that defense upgrade. And the Lich is out, doesn't have any rods or anything. We do see tech to tier 3 from Cechi, so it looks like he does want to do that destroyer play. He's not going to go for some tier 2 wagon push. Alright, Coil going down. Meanwhile, Hawk with the shot at his expo, able to get some scrolls of regen, some clarity pots, very nice item, even picking up the Troll Brothers from the mercenary camp. And a Boots of Quel'Thalas and the Archmage, actually a pretty crappy item for the human, as they really don't rely on agility-based heroes. Alright, Frost Nova did go off, does snipe the Troll Shadow Priest with that. Alright, Boots of Quel'Thalas was still getting a nice bit of gold. Meanwhile, we do see more towers being built. One guard tower on the way. Cechi gonna continue the pressure. One footman will go down. And Death Knight's just edging closer and closer to level 3. Alright, just gotta be careful. Continued pressure. Coil Nova snipes the Troll Berserker. Nice pick off by Cechi. But so far, Hawk, he just has to get those towers up. Once those guard towers start massing, he can fight by his base. And it'll make it very easy for Hawk to defend. Meanwhile, we do see the tech to tier 2 finally being started by Hawk. So he can start to get tier 2, maybe get the workshops, the arcane sanctums, all the good stuff. Alright, I'm seeing statues coming in for Cechi as well, allowing for some more healing and mana regen, allowing him to keep the siege up quite a bit longer than he could. But Hawk starting to get those guard towers up. Meanwhile, one Fiend getting focused down will be microed back. Nice micro there out of Cechi. Does keep that Fiend alive, doesn't even need to use a coil. Death Knight has about 2 coils in his system. Alright, Footman does go down with the Fiend shots. And some peasants as well. Hawk just needs to find that safe spot. Meanwhile, Cechi with a good chunk of Fiends. He's almost at tier 3s, getting more statues, getting more Fiends. And when he does get tier 3, life will get a lot easier with him. For him with that Orb of Corruption and the Destroyer upgrade, of course. Maybe even some Abominations should he want to take some damage here. Alright, tier 3, about 3/4 of the way. We do see a Blacksmith, of course. You do need Blacksmiths for workshops. Or maybe even some Spellbreaker upgrades. You never know. Alright, another peasant gonna go down. Hawk realizing he can't shoo away Cechi, so he's gonna try to go to Cechi's base, get some damage done, force a TP. Does Cechi have a TP? Okay, he does have a TP. So Hawk gonna try to force the TP. This will get Cechi off of his base. Meanwhile, we have a Fiend waiting at the shop. I'm guessing he was gonna pick up the Orb of Corruption since he did get the backpack upgrade. But Footman gonna go after that Ziggurat. will that supply cap Cechi? That would have supply capped him a little bit. But Cechi does TP in to shoo away Hawk. And this actually gives Hawk quite a bit of breathing room here to try to get up a defense, get up some resources. He has a farm by the Merc camp, so he can of course pick up mercenaries when he pleases, such as the Mud Golem, Ogie the Mauler, the Troll Brothers, all them good guys. But now the Lich with the Orb of Corruption, very nice, added boosted damage, plus 11 for the Lich, and the Death Knight getting level 3. So now he has those level 2 coils, do so much more healing and damage. Level 1 coils, like, will heal half a Fiend's life, where the level 2 pretty much fully heals the Fiend. Oh, and a greater mana pot. Very nice. Even buying a Staff of Teleportation for the Lich. Gonna send him back to base, pick up some rods, maybe. And Hawk with a quick tech to tier 3. We do see the Mountain King as the second hero choice. And tier 3 makes me believe he might go for maybe tanks, maybe Gyro Knights. Oh my gosh, the Lich is surrounded! Oh, okay, he has the Staff of Sanctuary. Will he get out with his life? He does. That would have been a big loss for Cechi. Meanwhile, he's stealing Hawk's camp. Greater mana healing potion was the item. Hawk actually stole it. Oh, but now the Mountain King's surrounded. Double surrounded by the players. Hawk did kill the Frost Tower. There is one destroyer in the air. Only anti-air are those water elementals. You've got to be careful with that Lich. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was pretty close. Meanwhile, the Mountain King still getting pounded away. Will die. Hawk deciding not to use the greater healing potion, but the coil from the Death Knight out of nowhere does Nova on the Footman. Very nice play out of Cechi here. Level 3 in the Lich. Oh, and that Destroyer was just sucking away at those Water Elementals with his Devour Mana. We'll get another one. Level 4 in the Death Knight here. Oh, Fiend's blocking in. Archmage in a hard spot. Hawk not doing that well. So far, tier 3's still on the way. Mountain King being resurrected at the altar. He was, of course, only level 1, so it's not the hugest loss in the world. And that Ziggurat kill actually supply capped Cechi. So he's got to wait for that Ziggurat to finish before he can build anything else. Hawk looking to continue the pressure with his Archmage. Got to be very careful with him. Oh, but Cechi at the same time going to push in, forcing the second barracks to be canceled, which makes me believe Hawk was going to try a Gyro Knight play, which is very strong versus Undead. You have the Knights to deal with the Fiends, the Gyros to deal with the Destroyers, and we see a Paladin as the third hero choice of Hawk. Hawk looking to go for that Tri-Hero Human for the nukes. He's still going to edge away, is able to siege away at these workshops outside of that tower range. Meanwhile, Hawk continuing the pressure with the Archmage. Ghouls were pulled off of the wood. They are going to try to shoo away at that Archmage. Where's the Mountain King? There's the Mountain King out and about. Is only level 1 though, so Stormbolts aren't that scary. And Cechi gonna leave the siege away. Hawk building tanks and getting some Knights in play. Going for that tier 3 human. Alright, Hawk trying to continue pressure. Cechi did build a defensive Spirit Tower. And the Lich gonna use his Staff of TP. Staffs right back in to shoo away the Archmage. Do we see a Nova? Ooh, we might. We might see that Nova. Oh, Stormbolt gonna stun the Lich for a little bit. Meanwhile, Cechi finished out that laboratory camp. Got healing wards for it. That's actually gonna be pretty nice if you could keep him in the back. Hawk actually doesn't have any priests to dispel the healing wards. So unless he doesn't focus him down, Cechi's going to get quite a bit of healing. Alright, more Knights. We're getting the Gyro upgrade, the flat cannon. It's going to be pretty nice. Not sure if Cechi has web. He might have saw the workshops and gotten it by now. He's getting a sacrificial pit, which will allow him to build shades and boneyards. Alright, 2 tanks of Hawk coming on in. Cechi already with the defensive Spirit Tower, so even getting the A-bombs. He is close by to his base, and we'll see these tanks. Does he block them off? Is he going to try to surround one? Okay, he does get one surrounded. That's actually a bit of an expensive loss for Hawk here. The other one trying to steam on away. Oh, and Hawk actually creeping out the red camp. Let's see what the super duper item will be from that Ogre Lord. And it's Kagger's Pipe of Insight. Very bad item for the human army. Great item for any other race, but the human, it's not the greatest for, as they already have the Brilliance Aura from the Archmage. And Cechi actually gets the second tank here, so that's a really expensive loss from Hawk. Those tanks did nothing for Hawk. And we see the Dark Ranger as the third hero choice. Her silence is very strong versus human. Right now it is 60 supply for Cechi versus 66 of Hawk. So Hawk up in supply, getting more Knights. Knights are very supply heavy units. Alright, Cechi sees his camp was crept, but he did not see Hawk here, so this does allow Hawk to run away, especially since that Paladin could have been Coiled Nova. He's not at level 2 yet, so he does not have Divine Shield. But Cechi, not being able to see it, decides to creep out this Gargantuan Sea Turtle camp. Gets Prefer to Vitality, level 2 in the Dark Ranger, and level 4 in the Lich. Meanwhile, hero levels for Hawk, we see the level 4 Archmage, the level 2 Paladin, and the level 2 Mountain King, and the Shade actually getting picked away, as Gyros do see invisible units.
A player's forces are under attack.
But Cechi did see that Hawk was trying to creep out this red camp. Will Hawk be able to kill the Ogre Lord in time? So it looks like Cechi is on his way. Alright, Hawk gets the Medallion of Courage. Even using Divine Shield, his Paladin does not want to risk the Coil Nova. Coil's stealing the Ogre Magi, though. Will any other units go down? No. Hawk does TP away with all of his units alive. Cechi's gonna finish out the rest of those camps. So yeah, right now, what are we at? We do see the Meat Wagon in Cechi's base in case more tanks were to come, and the Boneyard. So maybe we'll see some Frostworms. We do see 64 food for Cechi versus 80 food of Hawk. Both players still creeping away. Death Knight will be getting level 5, so that does mean level 3 coils do so much damage. And Hawk gonna try to secure himself another base. Does Cechi know this happening? He saw the tower. Skeleton minions see the units camping there, so maybe he knows. Maybe he knows. Maybe pick up some invuln pots before going into the siege. Right now the Lich at plus 17 damage. Dark Ranger picking up a healing scroll and an invuln pot. And it looks like Cechi's gonna go in for the brawl here. More destroyers coming in. Cechi hitting at a nice timing before the tower's even finished. Forces one to cancel. Gonna move the destroyers back. Fiends webbing away at the gyros, but the Knights are on top of these Fiends and doing a lot of damage. Healing Word's going down. Nova's going down. Holy Light's going down. Gyros getting attacked and killed. Frost Shields on the Crypt Fiends. All in the Death Knight did get bolted and focused down. More Nova's going down the Knights. Abomination did go down. Silencer in the Dark Ranger. More Healing Wards. It's actually looking like a pretty nice fight for Cechi, I would say. Paladin using Divine Shield. Another Holy Light onto the Knight. Hawk gonna try to fall back to his towers. He has no anti-air. He has no way of dealing with these destroyers. Alright, and the last healing word. Oh no, he must have got double healing words. Huh, that's a lot of healing. More healing words going down. Cechi gonna push into towers. Can Hawk defend this base? I think he might have to let the town hall go. He's looking very reluctant on pushing here. Holy Light going down on the Knights. Nova onto the peasants, and it looks like Hawk is gonna let this base die. Is he massing out more gyros? He is, but with all these fiends, with all the web, I'm not sure how well the gyros are gonna do here. He's definitely gonna need to get a big mass of gyros out. Is the Lich at level 5 yet? No, he's about a little over halfway. Right now it's 77 supply for Hawk versus 67 to Cechi, and we do see a Frostworm. Frosty on the way, Shade Scout, just making sure Hawk isn't trying to take some secret expansion or anything. And speaking of which, what are the gold mines looking like? We got 2K in Hawk's Expo, 1,400 in his main, and Cechi with 1,400 as well in his main. So yeah, the gold mines are starting to run a bit low. Alright, another Holy Light onto a Knight. Cechi decides to not push into Hawk's expansion. Hawk has quite a bit of towers. See, 6 guard towers, 1 arcane. That's
Player's
pretty strong,
forces are
especially
under
with the
attack.
+3 masonry armor. You human players can, of course, buff their buildings in their lumber mill, which is very annoying because it works on their towers too, so it makes them even tankier. Cechi continuing to just creep away. The frost storm is out. And if Hawk can't get that decent anti-air out, the fiends are just gonna web them all down, and the frost storm and destroyer can just go to town on all these knights. They both do magic damage too, which does extra damage to the heavy armored of the knights. But Hawk continuing to try to get this expansion down, gonna build quite a bit of towers, even had some ivory towers here. Cechi sending in a shade, will be able to see this, but the gyros reveal the shade. Cechi quickly pulling him back. And with 2 healing wards in his arsenal, that's what kind of went bad for Hawk the last fight. He wasn't able to touch those healing wards, which allowed Cechi's army to just heal up in the back. Alright, Frostworm and Destroyers out and about. Those Destroyers are manned up, so they're doing quite a bit of damage. Nova onto the Knights. Gyro's getting webbed by the Fiends. Thunderclap onto the Mountain King as he gets holy lighted. Alright, Gyro's dropping left and right. Wands of Illusion being used by Hog. Healing wards coming down from Cechi. Alright, Nova onto the Mountain King, and the Mountain King goes down with the coil. Level 5 on the Lich. Oh, man. That's 3-3 nuke, baby. That's gotta hurt. Staff of Sanctuary going down on Knights. Holy Light being used. Alright, some towers starting to finish up. More guard towers now finishing up. Holy Light onto the Knights. Alright, but the Destroyers are just getting shredded by all this magic damage. Level 4 on the Dark Ranger.
Player's forces are under
Alright, Frostworms, Destroyers chasing down the Knights. Cechi doesn't even care about this expo. Okay, maybe he does.
is under siege.
But I'm not sure what Hawk can do here. He's down to 66 supply versus Cechi 71. Alright, Hawk gonna try to continue this fight here, but there's just so much magic damage out of Cechi, and Hawk has little to no anti-air. 2 gyros, 3 gyros are not gonna cut it. Alright, Death Knight up the front. Not sure what he's doing. Death Knight up in the front using a greater mana pot, but he gets surrounded. Oh, and that forces Cechi to TP out. I'm not sure what that was all about. But is this Hawk's moment to try to get back into this? Militia being pulled here. The Town Hall's still alive. Hawk is mining from this. Alright, Abomination getting sniped out. Cechi trying to run away. Death Knight back into the arsenal here. Death Coil going down on Destroyer. Alright, Fiend starting to drop by the Knights, but there's still not enough anti-air to deal with this. Oh, it's a lot of Knights. Staff Sanctuary going to be used to save one of them. Gyro's trying to chase down that undead air. Not sure if it's enough. Full air dominance out of Cechi is what's carrying him here. Alright, another Holy Light on the Knight. Paladin has enough mana for one more Divine Shield. So he's getting chased down. But yeah, I'm not sure what that Death Knight stuff was about with Cechi here. Almost cost him the game, but Coil Nova snipes the Paladin. Level 6 on the Death Knight. Oh, now the Archmage getting focused down. He has no TP. He has no potion. He has nothing. Coil going down. One more shot. There it is. And GG is called. Cechi proving that he is still a very strong candidate to take the victory on the European Pro League here. If you like this cast, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to watch me play Warcraft 3, follow me at Twitch at Thendis32, and I will catch you guys later.